Okay, so here we go. The pituitary gland we talked about, the ACG. So watch me here. The villi in your intestine absorb nutrients. Your heart's a very sensitive muscle. We have an electronic stethoscope, and I've done it to many of you here in the room. We can see digestive distress. My mother-in-law had major health problems. We thought she was going to die a couple of years ago. So we did the acoustic cardiogram to her, and do you know what turned her life around? It was like night and day. We gave her a digestive aid, and she started absorbing nutrients, and it totally changed her life, probably within a month. So if you listen to what I'm saying to you, if you're passing gas, if you have just indigestion, if people are avoiding you because you have bad breath, if you're bloating. I had one guy that bloated so bad that he had like tuxedo pants that every time he'd eat, they'd grow. And then he'd put them down. You know what his problem was? You'll never believe it. He had parasites. He was addicted to sushi. We don't encourage sushi. Okay? Sushi causes parasites. Bloating versus pain. Now, if you eat food and you have pain immediately after eating, it's always possible that it could be an ulcer. So I'm not talking about ulcers now. I'm talking about you don't have any pain, but you eat some food and you have indigestion immediately, it means you might need a digestive aid. I'm going to repeat this to you. If you eat food and 2 hours later you're bloated, it means it's probably your liver or your gallbladder. I'm trying to help do a little bit of differentiating here for you. So if it's 2 hours later and you think it's your liver and your gallbladder, you're the person that better be eating your apple, beets, and carrots. If it's immediately and you're drinking water with your meals, you're the person that better stop drinking water with their meals. Now some people can get away with drinking water with their meals, especially blood type O. If you want fluid with your meals, you can have 4 or 5 ounces of room temperature water, have some cucumbers, have some tomatoes. So get your liquids from the vegetables that you would have. That would be a better way to do it, better alternative. Muscle spasms and a hiatal hernia. Sometimes I have patients that have pain right here, a hiatal hernia. A hiatal hernia is when your diaphragm is weak and your stomach goes right up through your chest wall. And you know what's going to be really fascinating to you is this. The spine, as you all know in this room, can twist. There's a muscle in your spine called the psoas muscle. It takes attachment from the spine and goes to your pelvis. So you could Google it. Don't just love Google. Google psoas. P-S-O-A-S. Google that. P-S-O-A-S. And you'll see that it takes attachment to the spine and it goes down to your pelvic bone. So if your psoas is tight, it twists the spine. Okay? But guess what else takes attachment to the top part where the psoas attaches? You'll never believe it. Your diaphragm. So if your psoas is tight on the left and the diaphragm is tight on the left, guess what pops up through your chest? Your stomach. So some of you will get improvement with your hiatal hernias because of spinal adjustments, because we're balancing your psoas muscle. We don't charge any extra for that, by the way. Do you know that hiatal hernia surgeries they can be fatal? They're not, I mean, last I read, they don't answer everybody's challenge. So we'll do a hiatal hernia tug, we'll correct the spinal subluxations. Hiatal hernias can mimic a heart attack. So you can have major challenges with that. Right, Phyllis? Okay, parasites. Now I talked about parasites briefly. People who have parasites grind their teeth at night. People who have parasites usually wake up about 1 o'clock in the morning. People who have parasites love pork. People who love parasites eat wild game, rabbit, squirrel, and then they might have parasites because their children or grandchildren go to a daycare center. They pick up daycare. Daycare center is a great place to pick up parasites. And then finally, if you have a cat at home. People who have cats, generally, from my observation, and they grind their teeth at night, usually have parasites. People who have cats usually have parasites. You could have digestive distress because of the parasites. Parasites eat first, and then they do something ungodly. They poop inside of you. So they're putting their toxins in you. And then you get the leftovers. So I just thought, I just passed that wonderful piece of information on you. Okay. The gallbladder. If your gallbladder is removed, that's not good. We'll talk about that at another time.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's not on the notes tonight. Oh, it could be though. It could be. Okay, parasites. How do we get rid of them? First, we use a product called Parashield, P-A-R, shield, S-H-I-E-L-D, or Parablast, Parablast. And we also use a product called Agricept, A-G-R-I-S-E-P-T, Agricept. I take 10 drops of Agricept every day. Now here's a scoop. You have to go slow with parasites killing. Because you kill them off too fast, they can cause problems in your body. Now, another theory, there's two theories when it comes to this parasites. Do you kill them, or do you raise a colony to go against them? See, and the purpose of tonight, we're talking about digestion, but just to talk about this momentarily here, a lot of people focus, and medicine focuses on killing the 10 bacteria in the whole world. Let's say there's 2,000 good bacteria in your body. We've always focused on 10. I'm just making a number, 10 bad ones. But the whole new approach is going to be in the new millennium, is going to be recolonate the good ones to overpower the bad ones. So we'll use a probiotic here in the office. We use Floramed, we use Lactans, but you have to get off the sugar. See, I think that parasites cause people to crave sugar. If you have an addiction to pizza, which is the most common junk food in America, by the way, because it's the only junk food in America that has its own classification in the Yellow Pages. You don't see hot dog, you don't see ice cream, but you see pizza. Okay, so pizza. So let's talk about gallbladder removal. If you have had your gallbladder, listen to these foods, I have them written down here for you. If you have problems with these, in Italian we call it agita, green peppers, cucumbers, onions, fried food, radishes. If radishes, cucumbers, green peppers, and onions cause agita or indigestion, chances are you have gallbladder distress. Gallbladder distress. We use a castor oil pack. For those watching me on the internet, go to my webpage, go to products, and look at castor oil pack. Because all of you could use a castor oil pack if you have indigestion. Castor oil pack, you put wool flannel right here, and we have the notes right there on the webpage for you to look at. If you have your gallbladder removed, now listen, this is so critical, it's like taking your detergent out of your body. Because your gallbladder is your detergent bottle. People statistically who had their gallbladder removed had a greater chance to get cancer. Greater chance to have a heart attack. Why? Because you have all that fat floating around in your body. That's why we use a product called Colocol. Colocol is bile salts. We usually have people take 1 a day, then 2 a day, then 3 a day, and then back to 1 a day. The most common person I've seen to get their gallbladder out are females that have their second child, usually fair complected. But we're seeing an epidemic of, which I know in the future is going to be, when you have high estrogen, you have thick bile. Well, we have an estrogen epidemic in our world today, an estrogen epidemic. That's why you want to read Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones. Constipation. What causes constipation? One of the leading causes of constipation is not enough water and not enough vegetables. So you drink water through the day, not with your meals. Try to keep the water to a minimum 20 minutes before and after a meal. Water and vegetables would increase your bowel functioning. I've had some people, they're just so happy that I told them about beets. Dr. Bob, I love you. Why? Because you told me to eat beets. Well, your grandmother probably told you to eat beets when you were a kid, but you thought she was a little nuts. But when you started eating beets, guess what beets will do to you? Increase fiber, increase your bowel movement. And one nice thing about beets is you can always see if you're working because you poop red. Now, you won't always poop red. You'll go back to normal after a while, just helping clean your body out, okay? But the next leading cause of constipation is not enough iodine. I'd encourage you to go to my iodine videos on the internet also, because it's really important. Because not enough iodine is one of the leading causes of cancer. You want to go and watch go to www.druglessdoctor.com, click on other videos by Dr. Bob, and watch the one on iodine. It'll change your life. It changed my life. In my career, I learned 3 major things. Sugar causes pain, trans fat causes heart attacks, and lack of iodine is one of the leading causes of cancer. Sugar and gum. I love this, and people don't think about this, but you know what happens when you eat gum? You're tricking your body. Think about it. Just think about the physiology. I'm driving down the road, and I see these people in the cars next to me. Oh man, if they only know what they look like. But they're chewing. But your digestion begins in the mouth. But when you're chewing your gum, you're telling your body, hey, food's coming, sucker. There ain't nothing coming. You just drip, drip, drip. You can have. Doesn't that make sense to you? Then, did you ever look at the ingredients in gum? It's like a chemistry set. It is. And they have aspartame. So you can get brain tumors. No, you could though. So sugar and gum. Sugar will cause digestion to occur with